From the sighting of a monster straight from Jeepers Creepers to the truth behind the most terrifying figure in pop culture today, the Slender Man. Here are 10 legendary creature sightings more real than you can believe. Number 10. Jeepers Creepers Monster. In Texas, a terrifying monster that looks a lot like the villain from the Jeepers Creepers franchise was witnessed falling out of the sky. According to the eyewitnesses themselves, it happened near Las Milpas, where they were driving down the road one day. From out of nowhere, a man appeared in the sky with huge bat-like wings just like the creepy monster from the Jeepers Creepers movies. He even had on a cowboy hat. The creature fell, pumped its wings to try and slow its descent, and then quickly vanished into the forest. It's important to note that there's no video evidence of this happening, but it's not the first time somebody's witnessed this very same beast in rural Texas. Nobody knows where this thing lives or what it does, or even if people have just been watching too many horror movies and mistook a huge bird for a monster, though most people can tell the difference. Still, those who have seen this freaky creature, a thing the size of a man with crazy wings like a giant bat, swear it's real. Number 9. Sneaking Goblin. In Argentina, youngsters near the city of Santiago del Estero witnessed what can only be described as a very real and very creepy goblin. The kids were playing in a makeshift pitch, kicking around a football when a small, unidentifiable creature suddenly appeared behind them. Luckily for us, there was an eyewitness filming the children as they played their game of football, and they were able to capture the mysterious creature on camera. From what we can see in the footage, the strange hunched-over monster ambles forward rather quickly, causing the children to scream in terror and run away, and then the goblin itself simply scampered off and was not seen again. Maybe the children's screams scared it. One of the mothers in the neighborhood described the goblin as a paranormal phenomenon, while other parents refused to let their children go back to the pitch in fear that the goblin would get them. We don't know if this really was a goblin in the traditional sense, meaning a cruel and mischievous creature that likes to steal gold and jewels, but we do know that it was some kind of animal, small and green and with pointy ears. Number 8. The Washington Sasquatch. Do you believe in Bigfoot? The Washington State Department of Transportation is convinced the Sasquatch is real. The department recently revealed photos of what they say could be the Sasquatch passing through Sherman Pass. The sighting was made thanks to a traffic camera pointed at State Route 20. The camera also has a pretty clear vantage of some nearby trees. It managed to capture a photograph of the alleged Sasquatch just as it walked in front of a snowy tree. The problem is that the brown fur of the supposed Sasquatch made it blend in perfectly with the tree, making it kind of hard to distinguish. It definitely looks like an upright humanoid being in the photo. You can see it seems to have one leg in front of the other as it's walking. But because of its position in front of the tree and the blurriness of the picture, it's hard to be certain. Still, this could be a legit photo of Bigfoot. He's been known to loiter in the area, and there have been dozens of sightings of him here before. This just so happens to be the first potential evidence caught on camera. It's only too bad the department didn't have a video and only produced this blurry photograph. Number 7. SKINWALKER. In New Mexico, something horrifying was caught lurking on the side of an old road. Somebody posted a photograph that was allegedly taken near Lybrook, showing what seems to be a skinwalker, a type of mythical creature from a Native American legend. The skinwalker is a person who possesses the supernatural ability to turn into any creature, walking in any animal's skin. There are countless stories of these eerie encounters with the skinwalker, dating back to the days of the first Native Americans and counting into the earliest days of European settlers. According to the story behind the picture, it may have been taken by a geologist working nearby in an oil field who spotted the strange creature, captured a photo of it, and then mysteriously quit their job and vanished the very next day. The story's never been verified and the picture's never been authenticated, but it was still enough to freak out all the people living in the area. If a skinwalker does have the ability to change into any animal, does that mean that every creature sighting we've talked about today could potentially be a skinwalker? What do you think of this? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're liking this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Number 6. Drifting Specter. A ghost hunter recently captured blood-chilling footage of a supernatural being while inspecting a haunted mansion built in the 17th century. The ghost hunter's name is Mark Vernon, and he claims that he can not only see spirits, but he can speak to them too. The picture was taken after he arrived at East Riddleston Hall in West Yorkshire, England. And to be quite honest, there doesn't appear to be anything fake about the drifting specter moving through the spooky halls of the property. He captured several photographs of what really looks like a floating fog in different rooms of the large estate. It was as if the ghost was following him around the property. Oddly enough, there's actually a known ghost that haunts the mansion. She's known as the Gray Lady, and she has apparently been in the house ever since her husband returned from war to find her cheating on him with another man. In anger, the husband killed the woman by trapping her in a room and letting her die of starvation. To this day, her ghost still roams the corridors, searching for her lost lover. Even Helen Clark from the National Trust admitted that her and other employees often hear of unexplainable sightings of ghosts and of visitors experiencing the presence of something otherworldly while visiting the historical mansion. Number 5. The Beast of Bladenboro. The story of the Beast of Bladenboro begins in Bladen County in the small town of Clarkton, North Carolina. It was December of 1953 when a local woman heard her neighbor's dogs barking relentlessly. When she went outside to see what the fuss was about, she witnessed a massive creature that looked like a huge cat but definitely wasn't any kind of mountain lion or bobcat. This was the very first sighting of the Beast of Bladenboro. 2 days later, Bladenboro Police Chief Roy Flores was called out to a local farm where the farmer's dogs had been killed by a large and mysterious animal. The dogs had been drained of their blood and were bone dry like bags of dirt. Throughout the next 2 weeks, more reports began coming in of a large creature dragging away people's pets into the forest. There were dozens of reports of dogs being attacked all across the county. With each attack came an eyewitness account of a beast like a bear or a panther. Local residents were also reporting terrifying screams coming from the swamps at night. Of course, nobody had any idea what kind of beast this was. After all, there are no animals in nature known to literally drain the blood of their victims. The beast was said to live in the dark swamps near the Cape Fear River. The entire town was beyond terrified. The story of the beast was picked up by several newspapers, and soon Bladenboro was flooded with a flurry of hunters coming in, eager to catch the monster. More than 600 men from as far away as Tennessee traveled to the town. A fully armed bunch of fraternity brothers from UNC Chapel Hill even made its way down to Clarkton with hopes of putting the creature's head on their wall. But after 2 weeks, things calmed down, and no one ever saw the beast again. To this day, nobody knows what terrorized Bladen County in 1953. Number 4. The Canadian Mermaid. In 1967, the only mass sighting of a mermaid happened in Canada. These days, nobody would ever believe that a mermaid was witnessed by a ferry filled with passengers, but just a few decades ago, it did really happen. The event occurred while the ferry was moving through Main Island, British Columbia. The island's located just a stone's throw away from the Washington border. Several witnesses reported the mermaid sitting on a rock, being splashed by the constant waves, and casually taking a bite out of a raw salmon. The mermaid had silvery blonde hair, she was topless, and everyone on the ferry agreed as to what they saw. A photograph was even taken of the creature by George Harrison from Iowa, who had been on board the vessel. Plus, a local resident was flying over the area later on the same day and took an aerial photograph in which the mermaid lady can still be seen sitting on the rock, just kinda lounging as if she didn't have a care in the world. The local newspaper, The Colonist, got excited and ran the story the very next day. That's how many people saw this thing. It was, like I already said, a true mass sighting. The newspaper even offered a huge reward of $25,000 to anyone who could capture the mermaid. Of course, nobody could. Marine biologists argued that mermaids didn't even exist. Then, after a few weeks, all the fuss died down. To date, no other mermaid has ever been seen in the area. If you saw a mermaid, would you ever give up trying to prove its existence? Number 3. The Slender Man. Depending on who you ask, the Slender Man is a very real creature that stalks the shadows. He's a very tall mythical being who wears a black suit and has no face. He can also stretch his arms like retractable tentacles. However, the truth behind Slender Man is that he was born in June of 2009 during a competition in which a web forum asked for ideas to create a modern myth to terrify everyone. An unknown person responded to the forum with 2 photoshopped pictures, each one from the 1980s, showing a tall and sinister figure lurking behind groups of kids. Some vague text was attached to the photograph, suggesting that 14 of the young people had gone missing after the photo was taken. This is where Slender Man comes from, according to the in-depth report from the BBC. It was all really just supposed to be a scary meme, and yet the Slender Man has taken on a life of his own. It's not that the Slender Man has been witnessed so much as kids have obsessed over the mysterious figure. In 2018, 15-year-old Morgan Geyser was sentenced to spend 40 years in mental health treatment and monitoring after she plotted to kill her 6th grade classmate because she was scared that the Slender Man would come after her and kill her and her family if she didn't do as she was told. She stabbed the young girl 19 times, though her victim miraculously survived after being discovered by a passing cyclist. Still, the Slender Man has made an overwhelming impact on today's pop culture. Number 2. The Lair of the Loch Ness Monster. A fisherman has discovered what could be the lair of the Loch Ness Monster. According to the Daily Mail, Keith Stewart discovered a crevice at the very bottom of Loch Ness that goes down about 900 feet, 274 meters. He discovered the mysterious trench using specialized sonar equipment. Considering how truly massive the fissure is at the bottom of the loch, It is possible that a beast of biblical size could indeed be living down there and avoiding all detection. The trench has since been dubbed Keith's Abyss. To really bolster the theory of the Loch Ness Monster living down there, one of Keith's colleagues took a sonar image of the trench, revealing what appeared to be a hump lying at its bottom. But during a trip just shortly after when he scanned the same area, that hump was curiously gone. The consensus is that something huge is moving around at the bottom of the trench, making it very hard to track. Number 1. The Mothman. In Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a man has taken a photo of what locals fear could be the legendary Mothman. The creature has plagued this quiet town for decades, starting back in the 1960s and the weeks leading up to the devastating Silver Bridge collapse. The Mothman is a bad omen, and he only ever appears before complete catastrophe. The creature is human-like with large wings and blazing red eyes. If the Mothman is back, it's bad news for everyone in Point Pleasant. The creature hasn't been witnessed in nearly 50 years, and yet a snapshot has just surfaced of what appears to be a winged man flying between the trees alongside State Route 2, taken by an individual who refused to be identified or interviewed on camera. However, this person was adamant that he had not changed the images in any way and that he had happened across the Mothman by accident while driving. He stopped to take a picture, and then the Mothman was gone. Thanks for watching. Which of these legendary monsters terrifies you the most? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you like what you saw, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more.